Hey guys, this is Andy with BoldGrid Support. Today I'm going to show you how to style your content with CSS classes and IDs in the BoldGrid Post and Page Builder. Before we get started, in my previous video, I demonstrated how to use the custom CSS editor with Crio, and in that video I added 3 CSS rules. One we can already see in action to change the style on these pre-tags here and here, and 2 that didn't work at the time because they weren't targeting anything on the page I was showing in that video. As a reminder, I have that page up in another tab right here, and it's these 2 rules at the bottom right here that weren't working. So they didn't work because they are targeting things that don't exist yet on my site. The first one is looking for an element with the ID super special heading, and the other is looking for any elements with the class less special heading. Obviously, I made up these rules, but today I'm going to show you how to apply your own custom CSS rules with little help from the Post and Page Builder. Since I already added these to the CSS editor, I won't be covering that in this video. If you haven't already, I encourage you to check out that previous video. I did include a link in the description for you guys below. But let's go ahead and jump in. Today I have this super special post that I'm going to be using for the demonstration. Let's get creative and imagine that this is a marketing post or something that needs some fancy styling. On this post, I'd like to make these headings look a little bit more unique, or in this case, special. I won't be diving too much into the CSS rules I'm using, and these rules were specifically meant to be easy for you guys to see while watching the video. You can also use this feature to add existing class and ID rules to an element if you like, but that usually requires knowing your way around CSS and would be harder for you guys watching to notice. But without further ado, let's get started. I'm already logged into my site, so I'm just going to go ahead and click Edit Post here at the top. All right, now that we've got this pulled up in the editor, the first thing I'm going to do is change this super special heading up at the top of the post. I'm going to change it I'm going to change the color and give it some other features like a text shadow and underline and make it feel as special as it says it is. Using the Post and Page Builder, this is a pretty simple change that could be done in the editor by selecting the font option for that heading and making the changes there. Realistically, in most cases, you probably won't be using this the same way I am for changing the look on like a single bit of text. But since I've already added the custom CSS rules for exactly what I want, and what I'm adding will be really easy for you guys to see, I'm going to use my custom CSS. But if I hover over my super special heading and click on Advanced Controls in the little orange Content tab, get this little pop-up box that comes up. And at the bottom of this is this little Custom CSS Classes icon. And here is where I'm actually going to make my changes. So I have these 2 boxes. So this one is super special, so I'm going to add an ID. I'm just going to give it the ID of super special heading. And I think I'm done. So once that's there, I'm going to go ahead and update the page and publish my changes. And let's go ahead and take a look at the results here. Yeah, there we go. So you can see that now my super special heading doesn't really match everything else I have going on, but it's now super special beyond a doubt. Using an ID is good when you want to make a change to a single specific element, but what if you have a rule that you want to apply to multiple things on a page? For that, you can use a CSS rule to target every element that has a particular class. As I said before in my previous video, I added 2 rules. The second rule was looking for a class named less special heading. So on this post, I have these 3 headings at the bottom, and I'm going to make 2 of these headings special. I'm sure you can guess which ones. But I don't want to make them super special, like our heading at the top, so I'm going to give them the less special heading class. Now that we know what our objectives are, I'm going to go ahead and go back to edit the post. And we're just going to give it a sec. And once we load in, we just got to make our changes. But wait, hold on. Where are the changes I just made to my super special heading? To answer that, one thing to note is that the CSS changes that we just made won't show in the page editor. Custom CSS only affects the site when viewing the whole page, but does not reflect in the editor. But we will see it in the customizer or when viewing the whole page like we just were doing. If you have a sharp eye, you might have already noticed that my pre-tags that I styled with custom CSS are showing up with their default styles. The same logic's going to apply when we add the classes to our other headings. So if you added a CSS class or ID and don't see it reflect in the editor, don't panic. So to add our CSS to these headings, I'm going to do the same as I did when I added the CSS ID with the super special heading. But I'm going to go ahead and add our custom class name in the little box. So let's go ahead and pull that up. So we're going to do it on this one. That's much less special. We're going to hit advanced and then custom CSS class, and we're just going to put it right here in this box. I got a couple extra things here, so I'm just going to take those out. And then we're going to do the same thing on this one down here as well. So I'm just going to put that in there. And we're good. I'm going to skip this guy. He knows what he did. And I'm just going to go ahead, click update, and that'll update the post. And let's go ahead and take a look at our results. All right, now that we've exited the editor and loaded up the page on the front end, we can see that all my special headings are now styled as such, except this guy right here who knows he's not special. These changes I made to these headings were pretty minimal and can be done in the tools in the theme customizer and the page editor. In most cases, it's better to use the tools where you can, but if you want to make a style change that isn't built into the editor, using custom CSS in conjunction with the classes and IDs in Post and Page Builder is a great option. I hope you guys found this demonstration helpful and informative. If you have any questions or if you want to know more, feel free to leave a comment below or head over to our support forums and other resources at boldgrid.com/support. Thanks for watching.